Cloudy, wet and windy weather spreading across the UK, and the outlook remains unsettled. I'll have all the details of that and more coming up on Good Morning Britain. Yes, so we have 2 Earth-directed coronal mass ejections. They're just really exciting words. So charged particles heading towards Earth from the sun. They interact with the magnetic field in the north and southern hemisphere, and those charged particles get excited and they give off this beautiful display.
This is happening a lot this year.
For the sun's activity. And I mean, the sun is obviously massive, so the chances of these coronal mass ejections heading towards Earth is pretty minuscule, but when they do, they really give off some. And there's a whole department at the Met Office called the Space Weather Department, and they monitor this and interfere with satellite communications, internet connectivity. So actually, when the government had their COBRA meetings, space weather is really high up their list of priorities because it's a matter of national security if we don't have all of our protection around us with internet. But this one's just going to be a pretty display. Excellent. So I'm going to show you where it's going to be, and then the weather may well spoil your viewing a little bit. So overnight tonight, we have this Aurora. The chance of seeing the northern lights will be exceptionally high across the north of the UK, Scotland, Northern England, Northern Ireland. But there is a very good chance if you're looking towards the north, we could even see them as far as southern areas of England. And it's all night tonight. We see this coronal mass ejection arriving, interacting with the charged particles. But this is the weather we have to look forward to. A band of heavy rain sweeping across the country. So if I stop the clock at around about midnight, most of southern England are cloudy. Clear spells across North Wales, clear spells for Northern Ireland, parts of Northern England and much of Scotland. So it's the northern half that have the best chance of seeing the northern lights and the clearest conditions. So my advice is wrap up, but also take a brolly. And here's the reason we have our wet weather moving through an area of low pressure. It brings with it wet and windy conditions, and this whole band of rain moves through the country, and another spell of wet and windy weather moves in as we head through the next few days, so the outlook remains unsettled. Today, we have the heaviest rain across northern and western areas, and in fact, we have some weather warnings in force, because this is where our rain starts this morning across Northern Ireland, North Wales and northern areas of England. We've had a fair bit of rain so far the last few days, so southwest England, South Wales, Northern Ireland, southwest Scotland. At the moment, the ground's fairly saturated, so further wet weather. We had some flooding last week, could bring the risk of some further localised flooding. So heavy rain, windy conditions through these western areas, gusts of 50, maybe 60 miles an hour. These bands of rain move through. It stays blustery through western areas of England, Wales and Northern Ireland, southern areas of Scotland too. The north of Scotland poking out with some sunshine, central and eastern areas staying largely fine and dry for most of the day. It's tonight you see that wet weather. But again, the southerly feed of air keeps it very mild, highs of 15 or 16 degrees.
I'll do it.
D?
2 seconds or 2 cars,
It's
isn't
2
it?
seconds.
Oh, is it?
2 seconds, because of course you're going at different speeds. So 2 car lengths.
Good morning to you. Wet and windy weather will dominate as we head through the next 24 hours. But I do have a treat for you in the form of the Northern Lights. There is a very good chance of seeing the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis, not just across the far north of the UK, as far as southern areas of England. The problem comes with the fact there's a lot of cloud and rain in the forecast. So I'm just going to skip ahead to this evening. We have a band of rain moving through England and Wales. It clears away from Scotland. So around about midnight tonight, when we have sort of the best chance of seeing these strong northern lights, Scotland and Northern Ireland have clearest skies. Western areas of England and Wales is a little hit and miss, but for the eastern areas, it is very cloudy and looking very wet. So if you are heading out tonight to look at them, make sure that you wrap up before you look up. But for today, we have this wet and windy weather around. Already very wet across Northern Ireland, Northern England and North Wales. And we already have weather warnings in force for many western areas of the UK from the Met Office because the ground is fairly saturated from recent rain. So further rain could bring the risk of some localised flooding, similar to some of the scenes that we saw last week. So as we head through the day, the band of rain moves through southern Scotland and then later into northern areas of Scotland. Northern Ireland, Wales and the southwest of England, we have heavy rain this afternoon, blustery winds. Eastern areas dry this afternoon, but look at these temperatures, mild, 14 or 15 degrees. And we keep that trend of mild weather as we head through the next 7 days, but we also keep this trend of unsettled conditions as well. So the north of the UK, first of all, Scotland, Northern Ireland, northern areas of England, our temperatures are above average, but then they fall to and below average as we head through to next week. And then you see a change in type. The weather dominated by cloud and rain for the next few days, but then then high pressure moves in and it turns drier into next week as we see those temperatures drop back down again. Now, looking at southern areas of the UK for our temperatures, first of all, again, they are way above average and then fall below average. And then percentage chance of rainfall is high with weather fronts creeping in for the rest of the working week, but dry for the weekend and next week.